Hi friends, David here once again from Redline Real Broker. In this video series, I cover events and stories from our local real estate world over the last few months, and of course, there is a heavy focus on the previous month for Calgary and area. This month, there's a lot to talk about. I talk about the hot market in May, the impact of the lower interest rates introduced by the Bank of Canada, the contentious Calgary-wide blanket rezoning issue, Eau Claire Market and the Green Line LRT, and a car-free 17th Avenue Southwest, and of course, the pricing picture for Calgary and Airdrie. So without further ado, here's your real estate recap for June of 2024. Alright, so here's your headline. The market stabilizes, but interest rate drop may bring more buyers. Well, does it feel like spring yet? Weather is so-so, a lot of rain still, but it is pretty green outside, and warmer days are possibly just around the corner, thank goodness. And speaking of spring, May and June are typically the busiest months of the year when it comes to sales volume, and we are seeing that again in 2024. However, there are some signs that the market may have seen the majority of its anticipated gains already, with pricing up from last month to an average sale price of $605,000 in Calgary and $550,000 for Airdrie. Both cities follow very consistent seasonal cycles with sales volume and pricing ramping up from January through to midsummer, and we are seeing that same pattern in effect again. What's been different in 2024 is that we've seen price gains coming earlier than expected. February, March, and April saw pressure on the market that we typically only see in the late spring and early summer months. Months of supply were 1.1 in February, 0.95 in March, and 0.94 in April respectively. For reference, 1.1 months of supply is only 33 days worth of inventory. Essentially, if no new properties were listed today, we would have sold out of everything on the market in only 33 days. And if you think that sounds low, it is. So the takeaway here is that we got up to a very hot start in 2024 and might be peaking just a tad earlier than we'd usually expect. There are a couple of other signs that support this. The first being the relatively flat sales growth from this time last year, which essentially equal 2023's numbers. This is in contrast to previous months which all posted single-digit gains over their 2023 sales figures. In addition to this, we are seeing a lot more new listings this month as compared to this time last year, with 4,333 new properties coming to the market for Calgary and 278 new listings for Airdrie. This is a full 19% more than we saw in 2023. So, double-digit new listings coupled with flat sales would support the notion that prices won't be climbing as fast as we saw earlier in the year. Okay, moving on, let's talk about the Bank of Canada announcement of lowering that key lending rate by 0.25% to 4.75%. This will make things a bit easier for borrowers, enabling both first-time home buyers and trade-up buyers to get into slightly higher price points. It's not a huge move, but all things considered, it's a step in the right direction, as many real estate economists feel that rates need to lower to avoid a shock to those that refinanced during the pandemic years of 2020 and 2021, given that the 5-year anniversary of those loans are coming up soon. Most of the press and economists seem to agree that rates will come down by several points to get closer to a key lending rate of 2%. My advice, however, to those shopping right this minute is to talk to your bank or your mortgage broker and discuss a variable rate to possibly take advantage of a slower market and lower rates come fall and winter. So, now the pricing picture for Calgary and Airdrie. With respect to asset class specific data, all 4 segments in both Calgary and Airdrie are up considerably compared to this time last year. Calgary first. Detached housing is coming in at $761,800. Semi-detached prices are at $678,000. Row housing is priced at $462,500, and apartment condos are at $340,500. In Airdrie, those prices were detached at $651,000, semi-detached is at $502,000, row houses are at a $381,000 price point, and apartment condos are at a whopping $289,000, which is a full 26.4% higher than last year. That's crazy. The apartment condo segment of the market requires a bit of a side story here for comment. While posting very healthy 18% gains for Calgary and the 26.4% gains that I mentioned for Airdrie, year over year, prices have actually dropped month over month by about 1%. This might be an aberration, however, it is relevant to the story and this particular discussion because of the record-setting new housing starts we saw in 2023, and a full 50% of those are apartment condos. This has been a trend for a few months now, and it's fueling the increase in market share that the apartment condo segment has been taking. This should serve as caution for condo buyers because this segment is adding more supply added than any other segment by a significant margin, which means that price gains for condos should level out as increasing supply helps quell that demand. So how about we talk about that contentious blanket rezoning for Calgary? The blanket rezoning proposal was voted through after an historic hearing process and plebiscite that saw more members of the public speak in a hearing than had ever occurred before in Calgary's history, more than 700 speakers. The rezoning will take place this summer, meaning that all lots in Calgary will now be zoned for up to 4 units instead of just the 1. But just because the zoning exists doesn't mean that every lot has the potential of being redeveloped all willy-nilly. Quite the opposite. In fact, as the bylaw is quite restrictive when it comes to what can be built due to factors such as lot coverage, offsets from streets, and laneway requirements to facilitate parking. So there will certainly be some redevelopment happening, but it's highly likely that you will see communities being forever altered from what they look like today. One notable amendment to the proposed changes is that row townhouse complexes will now be a discretionary use and not a permitted use. So, if you were concerned about a development going up near you, you will have an opportunity to make your case against it before it gets approved. And if you live in Airdrie, I had the opportunity to chat with a local city council person, and they said that they are keeping a very close watch on this particular subject. Translation, if it happens in Calgary, it can happen in Airdrie too. And so now, end of an era for Eau Claire Market. Calgarians will have one last look at Eau Claire Market in June as the building is set to be demolished this summer to make way for the Green Line LRT station that will reimagine this historical plot of Calgary real estate. This station will be the northernmost stop for the first phase of the construction and will provide service over 18-kilometer route to Shepherd Station near 130th Street Southeast. When fully completed, it will have a total of 13 stations, connect to the current Red Line and Blue Line, and will also connect to 3 max transit routes. Calgary Transit says that this line will carry 55,000 riders a day and will access 190,000 jobs in downtown Calgary alone. That's a pretty amazing project. And to wrap this video up, did you know that Calgary is considering a car-free 17th Avenue Southwest? You heard that right. 17th Avenue Southwest is making the news as Calgary is launching a study to explore the possibility of closing that street to vehicle traffic in a pilot project for next summer, following the lead of other cities that have sought to preserve commercial and retail walkability in their established commercial corridors. During the pandemic, Banff closed their iconic Banff Avenue to vehicle traffic, and in my opinion, it did lead to a more vibrant feel amongst the bars and shops and restaurants. So, this is a curious development to watch and see if it actually comes together. Well, my friends, we've made it to the end of the video. If you've enjoyed what you've learned here today, don't forget to hit the like button. It'll only take you 1 second to do so. And if you don't wish to miss any content like this in the future, give me a follow on whatever social media platform that you're currently watching this from. I really love making this type of content, so thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you again in July.